Back to Basics Weight Loss Surgery channel. My name is Denise, or Neecy D63 here on YouTube. Welcome. This week is Soul Week, and this week we're talking about our weight loss journey and both external and internal pressures that may be impacting that journey for us. And how do we balance those external pressures with what our inner vision is for what we want for us. And in speaking about that inner vision of what you would like your life to be, who you want to be, are you there yet? Are you who you want to be? And if yes, share why. And if not, like where do you feel like you're falling short yet? What are you working on, and how are you going to try to attain those goals? So the weight loss surgery journey is one with many peaks and dips, right? And for me personally, it has been just as much an emotional journey as it is a physical journey. So there's the technical side to it where, you know, you have to monitor your food intake, you need to become active, intentional exercise, your water, your vitamins, all of that side of it, right? And that's very important, obviously, to your success and continued maintenance of it. But just as important, I think, is dealing with all of the emotions and figuring out who it is you want to be and where it is you want to go. So, and that changes. That changes as you work your way through. So, for me personally, when I started out, I had this fear initially pre-op that I was going to be, and I've heard other people say this, be that person that it doesn't work for, or be that person who 5 years out would have gained back all the weight that I lost. And I was terrified of that. And I'm sure that's a fear that many people have, because hasn't that been our life till now? You know, how many times did you go on a diet and lose 20 or 30 or 50 or 70 pounds? And then over the course of the next weeks, months, year, you gain back 10 and then 20 and then 30 and then 70 and then 90 pounds, so that you're 20 pounds up from where you started when you lost that weight, right? We all know that story. All of that. And for me, I was terrified of that. I thought, what if I go through all of this and then I fail? And then I was lucky. My family was very, very supportive, and most of my friends were very supportive. And in the moments when they were not as supportive, it wasn't that they were not supportive. Sorry, my face is itchy for some reason. Weren't supportive of me doing this. They just had questions and concerns about my safety because they didn't want to lose me. I mean, I thought about it for years and never talked about it to anybody. So suddenly telling somebody that you're going to have this surgery, that loves and cares about you, you need to give them time to process and accept it. Okay. I had the surgery. Very fortunately, everything went really well. That first year was, you know, a whirlwind of ecstasy, because that scale keeps going down and it drops, and, you know, you're feeling great, and you're getting more active, and you have more energy, and suddenly the whole world is open to you, right? And, you know, you do that climb, and you're going up and up, and then you plateau out, right? And you're here. And you ride that wave for a while you're plateaued. And maybe you're somebody who reached goal, or maybe you're like me, who never really had a specific goal, but compared yourself, even though you intellectually told yourself you shouldn't do that, to other people who were reaching goal, who were sort of on the same path. Maybe they started a little sooner. And so you start questioning whether or not you really are successful. And I always knew I didn't want to get down to the weight that the textbook said I needed to be at. I had no idea what weight I did want to get down to. Um, and so I was just going to sort of play it by ear. Is that the phrase? To figure it out, right? When I got to a place where I was happy and healthy and was living my life and able to do everything that I wanted to do, I was just going to relax a bit, not let go, not gain. If I lost more after that, great, but I was going to be happy. And I was for a time, I was for a time. But it's really hard because I felt a lot of pressure to try and get lower for a while. Like I felt a lot of pressure, and I would question myself because most of the time I was going along and I was very happy and am very happy in life. But if I stopped to do that comparison, what I was afraid, I'd hear voices in my head saying, when I would say that I didn't get to that textbook perfect weight, I was afraid that I was being judged by people in the weight loss surgery community, although nobody ever came out and said anything to me, perhaps by physicians or nurses or whoever, that I was giving up, that I should have tried harder, I should have done better, I should lose more weight. And it took me a really, really long time to come to terms with the fact that if I lose more weight, that's okay. But that's really not any big aspiration for me, and I really just want to be healthier and stronger. And so I will exercise and I will eat properly and I will try to get enough sleep and do all the things from a technical perspective that I can to make that happen. But just as important to me is to work on the mental game. And so that was a real struggle in my head, coming to terms with that. And really, I had my tummy tuck 3 months ago, and it wasn't until after I saw the plastic surgeon about a year before my surgery for my first consult, and he said, oh yeah, you'll get approved by insurance for sure, and we're going to do this, I'll send the paperwork away, that I came away thinking, okay, maybe I have done enough. Because I was positive 100% that when I walked into that office, I would be told, no, you're still too fat. And I was terrified about that up to and including the day that I had surgery. I was afraid that at some point, somebody was going to say to me, you're still too fat to have this surgery. What are you doing here? And I'm so glad that I had it. Now, I might lose weight, and that might mean that I have a little bit of loose skin in my stomach if I do. But that's okay. Having the tummy tuck for me just sort of freed me and helped me to embrace where I am right now. And that I'm happy with where I am right now. Am I happy with all parts of my life right now? No. It's funny, I'm somebody who, if you talk to people who know me well and have known me for many years, what I've heard over and over from people is that you're always so confident and you're so upbeat and you're so positive. And that's true. I am most of the time. But there's also the internal part of me that was not so confident and that was not so sure. But I would always just sort of grit my teeth and get through whatever I needed to get through. And, a big part of that was I was not going to let anybody see just how afraid I was, or if I was angry, I wouldn't let them know that I was angry. And, that had a lot to do with being that purple people pleaser, that perfect Neecy. Don't make waves, just go along and say yes. And what I'm finding right now, a few years ago I did some work around this, but in this last year, again, I've been focusing on it more. And just, especially the last few months, trying to be more honest with myself as well as others as far as where I am emotionally with them. You know, it's okay to tell somebody that something they did hurt you, or that you didn't like something that they did. Doesn't mean that you don't like them, but you didn't like the way you were treated. You have the right to expect to be treated well, to be treated with respect, to not just go along regardless of what people say or do. Like, you don't have to be this yes man. It's okay to say no. And your relationships are going to change, and that's going to change you potentially, but hopefully for the better. Like, standing up for myself and the things that I deserve in life, because I deserve them. I deserve them, just like we all deserve to be happy, to find peace, to find loving relationships, and within the context of those relationships, to have expectations. That it's okay. Like, we're always told that we shouldn't expect too much. But it's okay to set boundaries and to set expectations and to say to somebody, no, I didn't appreciate that, and it's not acceptable, and it's got to be different, or we're going to be different, right? So that's something that I do struggle with, because I don't want people to be angry with me. I'm not a confrontational person, and I will never speak to somebody in anger. If I get angry, I will walk away. But if it's important, I will speak to you about it. But more times than not, I would, in the past, take the approach of owning what I did wrong, but not asking you to do the same. And I'm at a place in my life where that's not acceptable anymore, because I'll own my shit, but you better own yours. Period. And that's a pretty good place to be. That's a pretty good place to be. Anyways, I don't know. There are times during this journey when you are going to feel like you're on the top of a mountain and the king or queen of your world. And then there are other times when you are going to feel like you're just doing nothing right, and you're going to be feeling lost. And my best advice to you is, during those times when you are feeling lost, sometimes, I mean, we've heard everybody talk about transfer addictions and making, maybe you make, I don't know, just bad decisions for a while, because you it's almost like being a teenager again, right? And you want your youth back, and you want to do all the things you didn't do. And so sometimes you might do some pretty stupid things. Forgive yourself, and find that core group of people that you can share your story with. And it might not be every story with every person, but you need to have that core support group. You need to be able to say, hey, I fucked up, but I'm okay. I'm not perfect, but I'm doing the best I know how right now. And you need somebody to be standing beside you to say, yeah, you know what? You did fuck up. You did. But that's okay. I love you anyway, and we're going to get through this, and you're going to learn from it, and things are going to be all right, because you're all right. Anyways, I think that's enough jabbering. I hope that you're having a great day. I hope that you're taking care of yourself and each other. Make a great day.